Should my 24M partner, 23F, be posting negative things about me on social media? I've never been a big fan of conventional social media. However, I have a few burner accounts that I'll use for news or link viewing purposes. The other day I went on to my girlfriend's TikTok and found a bunch of videos where she kinda seemed to be roasting me. It also seems like every time we got in an argument she would head to social media to spill all the details. I get that she's venting, but IDK if I am really comfortable with all those details being out there for the world to see. Is this normal, and how should I confront her about this? Ask her to stop. If she doesn't, she is not really your GF. If she wants to be vent, she can be T to you, or with a friend. The internet is forever. Update. Pack in the mail, she's gone. I seriously appreciate everyone's help. This subreddit is amazing. She should vent to a therapist or friend, not the internet. Tell her that it bothers you. Once it's on the internet, it lives there forever, even if it's deleted. If she doesn't stop, do you want to be with something who doesn't respect your wishes and is publicly shaming you? Do a Google search of your name and see what comes up. I had a friend who did this to her husband, and I told her she was nuts and to take it down. Her husband gave up talking to her about it. Right up until he interviewed for a high-profile job, and when they ran him it all came up. They called him back in and told him this is why you're not getting the job, and handed him printouts of everything she posted. They advised him to find another field if he wanted a job. Do not be that guy. Stop it now. Personally, I would dump someone for venting on social media about me and our relationship, even if it was all true. She should take the issues up with you. I'd ask her if I should post all the issues that I have with her. Or maybe just go ahead and air all your issues just as she has done. Toxic as fuck. Ghost unless you want more of your drama spilled online. I, 29F, got ghosted by someone, 33M, that I was seeing exclusively for 4 months, and now he's back. The dates together were magical. The sex was incredible. We saw each other 2-3 times a week. But he called it a turn off, that I couldn't stay overnight or travel overseas every weekend with him, and gradually started canceling dates and stopped texting me altogether. That was incredibly tough, because I was starting to develop feelings for him. But I took some time, got over it, and reminded myself that he was a bad partner, that he wasn't there for me when I needed him to, couldn't plan his travel to accommodate my schedule, and didn't even have the respect to end things properly. Well, he came back last week, said that what he did was inexcusable, that he was sorry, and that he wanted a second chance. He'd make it up to me, and prove it with actions, not words this time. He'd also dated 2 other girls, and had a one-night stand while he was gone. And somehow my head got confused? I cried for 3 days over how distressed I was, and my anxiety was out of control. I didn't know what to do, so I agreed to spend time with him, if only to see if there was anything left. But he didn't reply to me for 5 hours, so I texted him that it was okay if he was having second thoughts. And he replied to me that, this was clearly a bad sign, and, I feel we speak a different language. My head is so messed up right now. Continue the process of healing and moving on with your life like you did while he fell off the earth to go fuck some randoms. Y'all are both adults. He has shown who he is. If you want to continue having headaches and stressing, keep talking, otherwise block and move on like you were doing. Hold up. He ghosted you, then asked for a second chance, and then you turn around and tell him it's okay if he is having second thoughts? Know your worth. Respect yourself, because if you don't, nobody else will. This man is trash. He treats you poorly, and somehow made you feel like you should give him an excuse or an exit strategy. Heck no. You should stand your ground and tell him exactly how wrong he is for the way he treats you. But he didn't reply to me for 5 hours, so I texted him that it was okay if he was having second thoughts. And he replied to me that, this was clearly a bad sign, and, I feel we speak a different language. Honestly, just move on with your life. He doesn't sound like he is the type to be a long-term option for you. You can find better and deserve more than this. If he is like this now, I can only imagine how he will be in the long run. This behavior is not acceptable in general, but more so for a 33-year-old. He lacks any sort of commitment, maturity, or decency. He's sleeping around like he's still in college. You should move on. He's playing with you. It didn't work out with the other girl he left you for, and you're his backup. He's not worth the drama and anxiety, girl. No guy is worth all that stress and headache when you aren't even officially dating. Block him and continue working on yourself. You deserve a guy who puts you first. Block him and move on. It's not worth your time. Asked my boyfriend to reply to a message for me, and he started looking through my phone. The other day I, 21 female, was baking and my boyfriend, 22, came into the kitchen to hang out with me for a bit. So we're talking and laughing, and at this point I was basically elbow deep in flour, so when I got a text I asked him to look at it and reply to it for me. It wasn't anything bad, just my friend asking if I was home and she could come over. I told him to text her yes she could, and after he did that, he started looking through my phone. When I asked him what he was doing and he said, "I'm looking through your chats, it's no big deal." Sir, this is not how this works, lol. I just felt annoyed that he would use that opportunity to look through my phone, so I asked him why. He just said he wanted to see what I was up to. Now I don't have anything to hide, but the reply angered me, and made me think he didn't trust me. Also, the way he went about it was a little irritating because I asked him to do something and he took advantage of that opportunity. Would I rather he did it secretly? He asked. No, in fact I'd rather he didn't do it at all. Of course comes the predictable, if you didn't have anything to hide then you wouldn't be irate right now. Pissed me off even more. I am literally kneading furiously at this point and asking him repeatedly to please drop my phone. He refused and went to our bedroom and locked himself in there. I'm not one to do too much, and also, I had nothing to hide, so I waited for him to come back from his little expedition and come and answer to me when he doesn't find anything. It was about 20 minutes when he came back in with a goofy smile and dropped the phone back on the counter. I asked him if he found anything and he said no, that maybe I'm just good at hiding, with that same shit-eating grin. At this point I'm boiling and asked him how he felt invading my privacy, and he said that my privacy is his privacy. I tried to explain that I didn't like how he went about it and I don't like that behavior at all, but he was countering saying that if I wasn't cheating, being dubious, then this shouldn't be a big deal. That if I want to look through his phone too, I am welcome. I just silently walked away and have been seething for 2 days. He tried to apologize, but he still doubles down on the fact that if I had nothing to hide I won't be pissed. But I didn't. Like FFS? I just don't like my privacy invaded like that. Like, what's so hard to understand? I am hurt and frustrated because it's the principle that matters. I won't be out here looking through his phone, and if I wanted to I'd just ask, and it's the same here too. If he's just asked I'd have let him. He's an amazing, sweet man to me and I love him with all my heart. But he gets jealous sometimes, and when I react to it he tries to push it off like it's no big deal. He says he trusts me and he just felt like seeing what I've been up to. Am I looking for tits on an ant here? Sorry, HW reference, couldn't help myself, but I feel like I'm going crazy. What can I do? Edit. I'll be speaking to him tonight and laying down clear ground rules. Might have to make an ultimatum if all else fails. We'll update with what happens. I am really scared and sad and I feel betrayed. Been with him for a year and a half and this is the most hurt I've ever felt by him. I will break up with him if it comes down to it, cause above all else I prioritize myself and my mental health. Completely disrespectful. He crossed boundaries and on top of it basically claimed you as a possession by saying your privacy is his privacy. WTF does that even mean? Red flag of what's to come. You're young. Walk away. He says he trusts me. I'm the Queen of England, kneel please. He doesn't trust you. On top of that, his method of communicating sounds utterly infuriating. Running away to lock himself in the bedroom with your phone is the behavior of a child who grabbed a cookie and wants to gobble it down before it gets taken away. Him saying that your privacy is his privacy is concerning on multiple levels, as it indicates he doesn't see you as a separate person with autonomy that he doesn't have control over. What can you do? You can sit him down and tell him once that this can never happen again and that he needs to demonstrate that he understands that it was wrong. Or you can dump him because this entire story is riddled with red flags. I would be furious too. He invaded your privacy. Don't let him have access to your other stuff too, because he obviously doesn't respect you enough to trust you. This is breakup worthy in my book. Extinction level event. I want to strangle your boyfriend on your behalf. That's how angry this makes me. Do not overlook this. Do not let it slide. Make a big ass fucking deal about it until he understands that you will end it immediately if ever does anything like this again. Honestly, his comments alone about this are breakup worthy. How could you be attracted to someone who says and thinks things like that? He basically said you were cheating and he just hasn't caught you yet, and if you ever prohibit him from searching your phone or whatever, you are admitting to cheating. His comments and actions lead me to believe that he is projecting. Be careful, op. I understand you're not considering it, but that alone would be grounds for breaking up with him. Not only he looked into your phone, but he refused to stop when you explicitly asked him for proceeded to locked himself to lurk into it for no less than 20 minutes and the disregards your privacy. I can only see this escalating. Location flag, location flag, location flag. My fiancé is avoiding me. Could this be something deeper? I'm currently 28 weeks pregnant. My fiancé and I are in our early 20s, have been together for 3 years and lived together. In our first 6 months of dating he was caught flirting with a girl at the bar and Snapchatting her later on the next day. We made the decision to try to move past it and things have been going good for the past 2.5 years until recently. My fiancé is a truck driver so he works very long days but is usually home every night, which I'm grateful for considering most truck drivers are over the road and gone for multiple days at a time. A couple days ago I noticed that he came home and fell right to sleep without setting his alarm. I handed him his phone as I was shaking him awake to set his alarm and saw that he had multiple Snapchats from a female. The Bitmoji was a chick. I immediately asked him who that was and why she would be sending him multiple Snapchats at a late hour. He beat around the bush when I asked him to show me their conversation. He said that he doesn't have to and refused to do it. Obviously this is a red flag. I'm devastated. I'm carrying his child and he's still showing this level of dishonesty. Those who have nothing to hide nothing. Next day, he explains the Snapchat as his friend's joint Snapchat with his wife. Weird, I know. I'm still obviously very upset about this and have not dropped it. I'm just trying to come to terms with how to handle the situation. In addition to the Snapchat issue, he has been extremely distant, avoidant lately. I understand working long days to provide for our family so I try not to complain, but it seems like lately he's taking extra jobs, forgetting his things in his truck and driving all the way back to the truck lot instead of coming home and really not valuing our time together like he used to. On our very rare days off together it seems like all he can talk about is work. We have few days off together and he's been leaving family functions to go home claiming that he's tired, going to bed at early hours, or coming up with weird errands to run. I'm not stupid. I know these are obvious signs of cheating. I have a tendency to overthink, overreact and blow things out of proportion, so I want to make sure that I'm not being crazy this time. This behavior is weird, right? I want to trust my gut telling me that something's happening but I just don't know how. He's cheating. Text him when he's halfway through his workday, I know, and block him for the day. He'll come home and want to know what you know but, he'll be scared shish one teeless. Don't give him any answers. Be an interrogator. Cold and vague. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not the one owing explanations, you are. Just tell me why? Was she worth it? Don't play stupid. Doesn't matter how I found out. Pack your stuff and leave. You have a lot to explain and consider but right now you need to go. I deserve someone who will love and respect me. FYI, the joint Snapchat is a lie. 2 people can't be logged into one Snapchat account at the same time. It's not feasible for 2 people to be sharing. Add all the other suspicious changes in behavior, it does sound like he's for sure cheating. Listen to your intuition and don't let him gaslight you. If you can, try to go through his phone for solid evidence. Something is for sure up. Hoping for the best for your situation. Your pregnancy should be a special and peaceful time. I'm very sorry this is happening to you. Take care of yourself and your baby. The stress is not good. Please find a safe place to finish the pregnancy and leave your fiancé. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry, but he's cheating. A lot of truck drivers do. I heard this one story of this guy getting HIV from a girl he hooked up with on the road and he never told his wife and it's been years. Be careful and get tested. Do you have the tendency to overthink and blow things out of proportion, or is that what he's made you feel like? This is definitely suspicious and I'd keep asking. He is cheating. I knew a woman whose husband was a trucker. She had 2 little girls. Broke her heart he had another family elsewhere.